Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my January book haul and my January wrap-up. I am sorry about the lighting, like the shadows and the glare. The sun keeps going in and out. It's kind of affecting my lighting, but anyways, this month I bought 2 books and I have 4 books to wrap up. The books that I purchased this month are the first 2 books in the Truthland trilogy, I believe, by Susan Dennard. The first is Truth Witch, and the second book is Wind Witch. Truth Witch is one of the books that I did read this month, and I ended up giving it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I did really like it. If you are a fan of like the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas, then I think you would really enjoy this book. That's kind of why it was recommended to me, because I love the Throne of Glass series. So my friend Hannah recommended for me to pick this one up, and I absolutely loved it. So in this book we follow our 2 main protagonists, Sophia and Isolde, and I actually had to go online, and there's a video that Susan Dennard did where she pronounces like all of the characters' names, because I didn't know how to pronounce any of them. But we follow Sophia, who is a truth witch, and she's like the first truth witch to exist for like many years. So her magic is very powerful because she can determine if someone is lying or telling the truth. So her mission is to pretty much keep anyone from learning what her powers are. Isolde is her thread sister, and she is a thread witch, meaning she can see all the threads of life. Threads are invisible ties that binds lives together. I kind of think of it as like a person's aura, and her and Sophia are linked together as thread sisters. So one day Isolde and Sophia, they get into some trouble and they have to try and run away from a blood witch, which is a witch that is able to smell someone's blood and like track them. So they're trying to escape the blood witch, who is after Sophia for her powers, because he learns that he's able to smell on her that she is a truth witch. And in doing so, they end up getting tangled with Prince Merrick, who is the captain of a ship, and he is trying to find a way to feed his people. So pretty much kind of the 3 of them become entangled with a lot of other politics, and they're trying to run for their lives along with figuring out all the other problems around them. Like I said, I did end up giving it a 4.5 out of 5 stars only because the first half was a bit hard to understand just because of the terminology. There's so much to kind of learn about the witch lands, which are, you know, the land of this book, and the different types of witches, and just like the different type of magic, which I loved. It's very unique, and I love the way the magic system works, but at first it took me a while to kind of understand like the different terms, and I was a little confused at first, so that's why I ended up giving it 4.5 out of 5 stars, but once I got halfway, everything kind of got explained, and I really enjoyed the story. Next, I have City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. This is the second book in the Mortal Instrument series, and I'm not going to go into any detail because I don't want to spoil it since it is the second installment of the series, but I did listen to this on audiobook. I didn't enjoy it as much as City of Bones on audiobook, but it was still pretty good, but I did enjoy the story a little bit better than City of Bones. So I ended up giving this a 4 out of 5 stars, and I'm excited to see where the story goes. Next, I have Blue Lily Lily Blue, which is the 3rd book in the Raven Cycle Quartet, and I also gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, and this is also a book that I listened to on audiobook. Of course, I'm not going to go into any detail because it is the 3rd installment of the series, but I really did enjoy this book. I feel like things are finally starting to kind of move forward. The first 2 I had so much trouble finishing. It took me months. I kept putting them down and picking them back up, and I even tried picking up Blue Lily Lily Blue like months ago, and I ended up putting it down, but I finally decided to just stick with it this month, and I finished the audiobook, and I did enjoy it. Maggie Stiefvater's writing is very like poetic, so it takes a little while to kind of get into her writing style, but once you get into it, the story flows really well, and I like where it's going. So there was definitely a surprise at the end of this one that I was not expecting. And lastly, I listened to a old favorite of mine, and that is Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. I found myself getting into a little bit of a reading slump at the beginning of January, so I decided just to put that book down, and I decided to pick up something that I know will get me back into the mood of reading. Twilight is a pretty fast read. I really enjoyed this audiobook. It definitely got me back into the mood of reading. And lastly, I do want to mention The Chemist by Stephenie Meyer. This is the book that I picked up and I couldn't get into it. I'm having so much trouble like pushing through. I'm only on, I think I'm like on chapter 3, and I can't, like, the story is not like grabbing my attention. I do like the details. There was definitely a lot of thought that went into this book, and you can tell a lot of research because of the details, but it's just, I can't seem to get into the story like I did with the Twilight series or The Host, which was also written by Stephenie Meyer. This is an adult thriller. The main female protagonist used to work for the government developing like biological weapons, and something happened where she ended up quitting her job, or she had to flee because they were after her, and now she's kind of got roped back into her old job because apparently a new biological weapon has been created and she needs to figure out like what it is. So the premise of this book sounded really intriguing. I love books that are pretty heavy with science, but I'll try again, maybe, I don't know. Right now I'm putting it down because it was putting me in a little bit of a reading slump, unfortunately. Now, as far as my 2017 TBR jar, the only book that I picked up that was out of this jar was The Chemist by Stephenie Meyer. I thought Blue Lily Lily Blue was in this, so I was excited that I was able to cross it off the list, but it's not. I did pick up The Chemist, like I said, but this might be a book that may take me a little while to finish. I'm not sure when I'm going to pick it back up again. Alright, well that is it for this video. Comment down below, let me know some of the books that you read in January, and if you happen to read any of the books that I have. I hope you all have a great rest of the day, and I will see you next time in another video. Bye!